Hi guys, come on in. I know I haven't said this in a while, but this is my new YouTube channel called Life with Sin, and that's me. So as you can see by today's title, we're going to be doing something a little different. This is my very first interview with a very close friend of mine, and the subject is women dating in their 50s from a woman's perspective. So without further ado, I would like you guys, let me tell you something. I need you all to subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. I know you stop by and view me, but you don't have to keep viewing me and keep on going. Hit the subscribe button to become a member of my channel today. And turn on the notification button so you'll be alerted every time I upload a new video. Okay, guys? Please do that for me. But anyway, we're going to just get right into it. All right? I have a very special guest today. You girls ever have a friend that's so close that it's like a sister? That's who I'm interviewing today. This person I'm about to interview today we're very close, and I feel like, we're friends, but she's like a sister friend. So if any of you girls can relate, drop it in the comments, okay? But anyway, let me just introduce her so we can get right into it. Because this is the first of 3 parts, guys. This is the 3-part interview on women dating in their 50s from a woman's perspective. All right, so let me just read her accolades because she's very accomplished. So I'm going to try not to fumble through this, but she she has a lot. But anyway, first of all, she's a chief operating officer of Berkeley College, y'all. She has 25 years in higher education. She's an adjunct professor for 16 years, a member of the Shiloh Baptist Church. She's a Delta Sigma Theta sorority. She's a national councilwoman for the Negro women. No, I didn't say that right. She's a national council for Negro women, and she's a member of Eastern Star, NACCP, the Police Athletic Youth League for the Youth, basketball coach. She's a Christian, y'all, and she's the owner of GIFTS. That spells gifts. So, without further ado, you all, I would like to introduce you to my special guest. Her name is Ms. Ty Gaines. Come on in, Ty. So good to see you. This is her. This is my sister friend, y'all. And we're going to be doing like a question and answer.
Yes.
And this is all from a woman in her 50s. She looks beautiful, right? She could be in her 30s or 40s, okay? And look at that. Look at that. Just beautiful, stunning. She is accomplished, you all. She's an accomplished woman. I'm so proud to have her as my very first guest on my new YouTube channel. And I like this whole setting. This is something new for me, so it may not be last time though. But anyway, we're going to get into it. And I have it's like a question answer. So this is how it's going to go. I'm going to ask her questions, and she's going to answer them in her perspective, as best as she can.
Absolutely.
All right? You ready, sis?
I'm ready.
Okay. So now the first question is, sis, what is your ideal of a great partnership? It's a 2-part question.
Mm-hmm.
And the second is, how would that look in the real world for you?
My ideal partnership would be someone that I can call my best friend.
Yes.
Someone that is my soulmate, who understands me deeper than anybody else.
I agree.
And my forever love.
I agree.
Somebody who is going to love me through thick and thin, and I'll do the same for them. What it would look like in the real world is really consistency, reciprocation. Yeah. People always say that communication is key, but I think that understanding is even more important.
Good point.
Because if I'm speaking to you right now in Japanese,
I don't understand.
You don't understand what I'm saying. We're communicating, but you don't understand.
Exactly.
So I think that it's important for people to understand each other and grow together. So in a real life relationship, it would be somebody who's just willing to try, someone who's willing to put in the work, and someone who's willing to see the best in me and the best in them, and work together and continue to move forward.
I love that. I love that.
Thank you. Thank you.
Listen, for me, I agree with her. Those are very important things that she said. Growing together, someone that can listen, understand when you speak, understanding where you're coming from, and not just saying I hear you, but you really don't hear me.
Absolutely.
So that's key.
Absolutely. You gotta
Right,
make
that's
sure that
key.
they understand and that they're willing
Right.
to see it from your point of view, even if they don't necessarily agree.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I think we have to also, as females, understand when they, where they're coming from also.
Absolutely.
It's like a two-way thing. It's like, you
Absolutely.
bounce back and forth off your partners
Mm-hmm.
or, your potential.
Exactly.
Or if it's going to be a potential,
Absolutely.
it has to be a mutual understanding.
Absolutely.
On both parts.
And to talk about what that looks like, what the definition of, because
Yeah.
if I say to somebody, my definition of relationship is a soulmate or a best friend, some people may say that's not what I'm looking for.
Right.
I'm looking for somebody to help me
Right.
to get to where I need to be, and I don't need anything more.
Right.
So it's important to communicate that up front to see if you even actually are compatible or if you're going in the same direction.
I told y'all she was brilliant. Look, I told you. I knew you wasn't going to be disappointed with this interview. Girl, we're going to keep on moving. So the next question is, are you open to relocating? If you find that certain special one, would you be willing to relocate, keeping in mind that what you already have?
Mm-hmm. Right. What I will say is, because I'm a woman of faith, I would be open to relocating because I know that what God has for me is for me. So if my
Definitely.
partner is for me and I need to move to South Carolina, I would do so. It wouldn't be immediately because I have a daughter who's 23 and I have a son that's 15. So if he was off to college after high school and there was nothing holding me here, then I would go. I think I would have to do a lot of prayer, have to do a lot of communication to understand what I'm going to and what we're going to build together. In terms of the things that you said, as far as the accolades that God has blessed me with, I would say that it's not who I am, but it's the blessings that God gave me and the things that you mentioned. But it's important to make sure that if I'm going to go there, there's preparation.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. How long would you have to have known this person before you decide to uproot your life and move someplace else?
Well, what I will say is that answer is different from when I was 25 to now.
Of course.
So when I was 25, I would say, it gotta be like 4 years or whatever.
Yeah.
But because over 50, I would say that as long as my children are settled, that it probably could be 6 months that I would be willing to go. And it would have to be after intense communication, conversation, spending time, and understanding, because if it's there, it's there. You usually know within the first month or so if this person is who they say they are, and you have to watch closely to maintain that they are. But at this point, wherever I go, I take my skills with me, so I'll be able to, further my career there, and it's really just putting in the work.
So you would be willing to let the man be the man, and you would follow his lead.
Absolutely. 100%. So if he says, this is what we're going to do, this is what we've communicated, this is what we've confirmed, and I have a place for you, and I have a place for us, and I have a place for your family, then let's do it. And as long as he shares the Christian principles and values, and that he understands how a man is supposed to love his wife and the partnership, and he's shown those things, and he hasn't given me any doubt, then 6 months I would go.
And how do you feel about, since we're talking about in the Christian manner, being his helpmate?
150%.
Okay.
For me, that's the only way I know how to be.
Okay.
So when it comes to working with your mate, you have to first understand them, and you have to know them. Some people say, "Oh, I was a great wife to my ex-husband." Well, he's your ex, so we shouldn't be talking about how great you were. Let's just be honest, right? Or I was a great girlfriend to Raheem. Well, guess what?
Right.
Raheem is your ex.
Right.
So I think it's important to know who you're with and understand his needs, as well as understand yours, and then be able to help him to accomplish what he needs to accomplish as a man, as a friend, as a spouse, and it should be reciprocated.
That's great. And guys, there's no right or wrong answers. This is from her perspective.
Yes.
You may have your own perspective on what you would do, and if you would not let your man take the lead, if you felt like you had to always be the one that's going to be the head. You know what I'm saying? So keep in mind, this is her personal experience, and yours may be different. And if you have any thoughts drop it in the comments.
Yeah, and
Drop it
I
in
want
the
to say
comments.
too, Sin, that I think that what I've learned in this age of dating, at the age I am, is that the reason that a lot of women don't allow the man to take the lead is because they don't know where he's leading them to.
Absolutely.
So if a man says, I want to lead you, you have to explain the plan to me.
Because I know a man can't lead me down a rabbit hole.
Exactly.
He can't say, come down this hole with me.
Exactly.
And if he hasn't been there, then he don't even know what's in that hole.
Absolutely.
So we're not going to be going anywhere blind.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
Like, I'll follow you, but you have to convince me that if I follow you, we're going to be good.
Absolutely. You have to make me feel safe
Yeah,
and
we're going to be
secure.
good.
And if I see that we're going off of a cliff, then why should I allow you to lead me?
Exactly.
So again, I believe that a
Exactly.
man is the head, but the woman is the neck.
Yes.
So he can't change his direction unless you change your direction and show him another way.
Exactly.
So yes,
I
he's
agree
the
with
head,
that.
but you have to move. The neck has to move and show the direction.
Right, you guys gotta be in sync. You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? It just can't be all. This is what I said. This is what we're gonna do. Blah blah blah.
Right.
No.
Exactly, because that's a dictatorship, not a
Yeah,
relationship.
no, right? Like it don't work like that.
Absolutely.
So we're gonna go to the next question, guys, and that is, what are your goals and expectations in dating? Now this is two-part. And then what are you looking for in a partner? So the first part is, what are your goals and expectations when it comes to dating?
My goals and expectations is not to do this thing too long.
Okay, we trying to be some
Okay,
misses up in
listen.
here. Do I hear some misses up in
Exactly.
here?
I said clearly, like I said, when I was 25, you have the whole world in front of you. You have all the time in the world. But as you get older, you realize that time is precious.
And that time behind us is way more than that time in front of us.
Absolutely. And I say the analogy is I'm at the top of the hill and I don't want to be pushed down the hill. I don't want to trip down the hill.
Anybody got time to be going down the
walk
hill?
down the hill very gingerly and look at the flowers and look at the hill and look at the sky. And I want to be able to do it. So for me,
because these are best years right now.
this
girl.
is it, because we have so much wisdom, because
These
we've
are
grown
best
so
years
much,
right now.
and we have established friendships
Yes.
that we know are important. And I think a relationship is important as well.
Yes, because friendships are like relationships.
Absolutely.
They take work.
Mm-hmm.
You know, relationships are work, ladies and sirs. Friendships are too. You have to put the work in with the friendship. Like it's like when you know that there's somebody that you could call and they got your back 100%.
100%.
You know, that just don't happen overnight. You got to put the work in for that.
Absolutely.
You got to go through something. And in relationships, it's the same way.
Absolutely.
You only endure the test of time when you go through stuff together, and then you come out on the end and y'all still hanging. Y'all still
Absolutely.
solid. Y'all still tight.
Absolutely.
Because this is my partner.
That's right.
This is my friend.
Absolutely.
You see what I'm
Absolutely.
saying?
And the thing is that what you show attention to grows. I was told that a long time ago. And if you have a plant and you don't water the plant, you don't give the plant food, you don't tilt it towards the sun and then rotate it, then nothing's going to happen. So if you don't show attention to positivity and attention to growth and attention to that individual, then it won't grow.
Right. Because it's not easy, ladies and sirs, if any men out there listening, it's not easy to develop a close connection with another person, because they have their own beliefs, you have your own beliefs, but when you choose to come together, you know what I'm saying, you got to come, some of those have to blend in.
Absolutely.
It just can't always be how one person thinks it should be.
That's right.
Even in a friendship, you should be able to tell the friend, listen, I don't think that's right. But you grown, but I'm just going to let you know that I don't think this is right. Even in relationships, you got to let the partner know also. If you see that the plans that you all have for each other and the growth that you're trying to get to, and if he's like swaying off or she's swaying off, you got to come together and figure this out.
And that's why you have to communicate,
And that's so key.
And you have to do it correctly. And so sometimes we do accusatory. Sometimes we
be quick to do that.
Right. And like, well, you didn't do this and you don't do that and you never do this.
Or expecting. I
Exactly.
expected you to do that. But why should we expect anything, you know what I'm saying,
That's
without
right.
communicating?
Exactly. And explaining, because sometimes if a person doesn't know why, then they can't do it. But if they do, then that'll be helpful. So, I always say that it's important to state, this is I don't think that was your intention, but that was your impact on me.
Exactly.
You know, I don't think that you meant to say it that way, but it hurt me in that way.
Exactly.
And right now, I'm experiencing you like you really don't care for me.
It
And I
could
don't
come
think
off like
that's
that.
and I don't think that's what you're trying to do.
Right, because
but
even
I'm
if they
telling
didn't
you,
mean it, it
right.
could come off like that.
Because your
because
feelings are
that's your
valid.
personal feeling. That's how you feel.
Absolutely.
And nobody can tell you how you should feel because they can say, oh, I didn't mean it like that. Okay, maybe they didn't mean it like that, but this is how it affected me.
Absolutely. And the thing is, I want to talk about it so we can make sure that we don't wind back up here again.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
So the second part to that was, what are you looking for in a partner?
In a partner, I'm really just looking for, like I said, my best friend. Somebody I could be like, guess what happened at work today? Or you know what? I'm doing an interview with Sin. And this is what's happening. And I need you to pray for me. I need you to look at it. I need you to subscribe. I need you to support me. Somebody who you can talk to about the small things and the big things. Somebody you can talk to and say, you know what? I'm experiencing X, Y, and Z. And I'm a little afraid. And I'm a little concerned. Somebody asked me, they said, well, what's your love language?
Oh.
And I said to them, I
still don't know my love language.
Exactly. I said, they're all of them.
Yeah,
I said,
and you know what?
I said,
Because I
all
was like,
of them.
I'm not about to just have one.
No, because the thing is, we're not one-dimensional.
Right.
So it depends on when. But what I said to him, I said, my love language is prayer.
Okay.
I said, because...
I've never heard nobody say that.
Right. So he said, well, what do you mean that's not in the book? I said, it's not in the book. I said, but it's in the book. I said, because I need you to understand that I need somebody who can calm me and say, it's going to be okay. I need somebody who's going to say, I'm going to pray over you. I'm going to pray for you, because that's going to settle me. And it's going to make me feel secure, because I believe in God and I believe in you as my mate, and you helping to cover me is going to help us. So I think a lot of times that in dating, people think it has to be a set answer. Like, okay, so it has to be that you have acts of service. No. Or personal, it has to be physical touch. No, it depends on when it is. It depends on what's happening. It depends on how I'm feeling. But I think that having a foundation of somebody who can just understand and who can just support you and pray over you is extremely important.
I hear you. And I just want to say that having a godly man, ladies, doesn't mean that life is going to be boring. Just because he chooses to follow God and God's plan and, you know, his word, doesn't mean that he's boring. I mean, who says that following God's plan and dating a Christian man who has Christian beliefs has to be boring?
It doesn't. And the thing is, it depends on who you are. Like, we're Christians and we have a lot of fun and we laugh.
And we're going to keep having
talk,
fun.
Exactly, right? We laugh and we talk.
And so
we
we're
have a
not
good
looking
time.
for anybody that's coming with, oh, the Bible says you can't do this.
No.
The Bible says you shouldn't
No.
do that. The Bible says a lot of things that people do.
Exactly.
But we're not perfect.
That's right.
And God knows our hearts. And I'm not trying to justify anything. All I'm saying is, I don't think God would want us not to have fun.
No.
Come on
Because
now.
the thing is, it says in his word that it's better for two to be together, to walk in agreement. And if you agree that God is great and you're going to try to serve him the best you can, that's your foundation. You don't need too much more than that.
Enough said, guys. And like I said, she's an accomplished woman, you all. And I am so pleased to have her on my very first interview. Okay, like I said, this is a 3-part interview. So stay tuned, guys. We're going to end it right here. But stay tuned for part 2, which will be uploaded tomorrow. And come on back, because we're not finished yet. We have more to talk about when it comes to dating in your 50s. And like I said, you may have a different experience. You may be wanting different, whatever you want. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it. So with that, I'm going to end this video. And like I said, this is part 1 of a 3-part series, you all. So I want you guys to stay humble. Be humble. And go out there and be great. And let's tell them, Ty. Peace.